Namaste, and welcome to this Asana Video Manual. My name is McGraw.
And my name is Bob Smith.
And we are thrilled to bring to you this particular video series that's based on our Asana Photo Manual. Enjoy. Next we'll be focusing on twisted positions. In doing so, we are working through the rotation of the spine. Allow yourself to come to the head of your mat. Take your hands together at the level of the heart. And allow yourself to ground here for just a moment, considering your own intentions for this particular practice. And then from the space, inhale and lengthen and lift the arms up overhead. The elbows wrap in, let the shoulders slide down the back. Lift the heart up and out of the hips in this position of Urdhva Mukhasan. One more breath. As you release from the position, hinge at the hips and fold forward. Neutral through the spine in your forward bend of Uttanasana. And one more breath here. As you release, step your left leg back. You can place the left knee on the ground. Draw the pelvis up to perpendicular to the ground so that from this foundation we can lift the heart, the head, and the eye gaze in this kneeling crescent. You might develop with the arms overhead if you wish to. And as such, just one more breath, gradually deepening. As you release from the posture, step your way back into downward facing dog. Bend the knees and lift up through the tailbone. With the head lifting, the ears will come right between the arms. And one more breath here. As you release from the posture, lift up your head and come forward into plank position, neutral from the heels all the way to the crown of the head. Lowering down halfway at most, elbows wrap in, shoulders slide down the back, in Chaturanga Dandasana. As you release from the posture, come all the way down to the ground and into your armless cobra. With the hands behind the back, lift up through the head and the chest, and allow the shoulders to descend. And one more breath here. Now as you release from the position, come back through center. With the hands down, tuck your toes, and press your way back and up again in Adho Mukha Shivanasana. And one more breath, lifting that tail up nice and high. Now, as you're able, step your left leg forward, and with the right knee on the ground, draw the pelvis up to perpendicular. Developing upward with your arms as you're able to. Opening up through the heart, and one more breath. Then releasing from the posture, step your way forward to forward bend. Hinging at the hips and neutral through the spine, feeling free to bend the knees as much as you need to. And releasing, draw your way back and up into upward facing posture. Lift the pubic bone and ground the sacrum. So we can lift the chest from that firm foundation and exhale. Draw your way back into your standing mountain position and get ready to take it to the second side.
Inhale, raise up. Exhale, lift low ribs, settle shoulder blades, fit the neck in. One more, inhale. Exhale, spread the energy through. And then release the standing back bend. Fold forward. Inhale. Exhale, low belly lifts, the low back lengthens, hamstrings lengthen. One more. Inhale, Ujjayi inhale. And exhale, and spread through the back side of the body. Open it. From here, right leg back to warrior. Arms up. Exhale, settle the pelvis, lift low ribs, shoulder blades down the back, arch up back. One more. Inhale, steady in. Exhale, lower a little bit as you lift the chest and release the warrior into down dog. Bend one knee and push through the opposite heel of foot. And choosing right at either side, and then the second side. Reach through the one leg and the one arm at whatever pace. And then finish down dog, opening both shoulders, both legs. And then release and lower to the push up position. And then down onto the floor and up to cobra. Exhale. Pelvis settles, lower ribs pull out, neck hoods like a cobra's, and one more, inhale. And exhale, grounded as you spread through, and release the cobra. Look under toes into the down dog position. 3 exhales, open, do any variations that feel good to you or stay with both sides. Couple more breaths, steady and slow in. And steady and slow out. Ultimately, it's a shoulder opener. One more inhale. And exhale, low belly inverts up, and then the low scapula settles up, and release it and swing your right leg forward. And up into warrior, square the pelvis, work the outer hips. And one more breath, inhale. Lower as you lift, lower the pelvis as you lift the ribs and arch back. And release the warrior into the standing forward bend. Couple exhales, exhale. And one more, steady and slow in. And exhale. Hold the air out for just a moment, go a tiny further, and then release the forward bend, come up, chin in a little, and then you're up and back into the standing back bend. And one more, open up and back, and release.
Utilizing the down dog dance as our format. Draw your way initially into an all fours position, and from all fours allow yourself just to move gently through cat and cow, flexing through the trunk, and then extending, allowing yourself to move together with your breath, and just feeling that you're able to join together your breathing and your physical movements. And then from here, bring that to stillness. Tuck your toes. With the knees bent, drive the tailbone up and back behind you. The head can come down with the ears between the arms. And we'll be using this as our home base position as we start to move through several rotated standing positions. From here, as you're able, allow yourself to take your right leg forward and the left knee on the ground. Rotated crescent with that left elbow crossing right thigh, prayer position to lift as you turn and look to the right. And breathing as you're reaching through, keeping the right hip still shifting downward away from right side rib cage. And one more breath. And as you release from the posture, untwist and step your way back to down dog.
Second side, swing your left foot forward to the inside of the left hand. Right knee comes down. Lengthen as you come across with your right elbow. The right shoulder blade down the back. You could use the prayer position with the hands. And a couple more breaths. Move through it. And one more. Move through, turning the ribs. And release and into the down dog.
And just one more breath here. And then similarly, swing your right leg forward and bending your right knee. This time keep your left knee off the ground. Left elbow crosses right thigh. In prayer position to lift as you turn and look to the right. And Prasarita, Parsvakonasana, the rotated extended side angle. And one more breath. Releasing. Bring your way back and down yet again in Adho Mukha Shivanasana.
And one more exhale, open the shoulders in the down dog. And second side, swing your left leg forward. As you come across with your right elbow, stabilize the left leg back. So the inner right thigh, stabilize your right leg back. As you come across with your right elbow, down the back with the right shoulder blade, could be prayer position, pushing out with the knee, holding in with the arm. What turns? The low back turns. Stabilize the back leg. One more breath. Move through and release into down dog.
And then from here, stepping your right knee forward and open your right knee to the right. Starting to construct Ekapada Rajakapotanasana, or the half pigeon pose. Allow yourself to come down onto your forearms, and with the left elbow staying grounded, left hand can come to the right knee. Lift as you turn and look to the right. Right hand can come back behind you to the sacrum buttock or to the left foot the hard way. Further variations could include Taking the rotation through the shoulder with a left hand or a strap on the left foot, and drawing that left elbow up and overhead, turning and looking to the right. Bob's variation deepens the quad stretch. In doing so, he's drawing his left heel in closer to his buttock, and one more breath. As you release from the posture, we'll untwist and step your way back yet again in your home base position of down dog.
Couple breaths, wash clean what just happened the last round. And one more, open. And then swing your left knee forward, half pigeon. Leaning over that left knee, could come onto your forearms. And then the rotation, right hand to the edge of the left knee, we come around, the left hand could push off the sacrum, or it might go all the way around and get to the left foot. You want to lengthen the neck as you turn. And then there's the variation possibility, there's the full rotation of the shoulder joint. You could stay here, or I'll show the other variation, which is to pull back and open. And then come out and up into the down dog.
From here, as you're able, let yourself come down into a prayer position, onto your knees with the tail lifting. Reach your arms farther forward, third eyes down to the ground. Just feeling the effects and the good work of warming up the body. And next taking it into some more particular classic twists.
In a seated position, let's take your left leg across. Now it's certainly, if the knee is bothered in half lotus, you don't do it. So it could be here. I'll show it with the half lotus. We're going to be twisting in both directions. So in either case, with that left leg across, we'll first turn to the left. Your right hand's going to come to the edge of the left knee. Your left hand back onto the ground, settling the pelvis. This is the easier direction of the twist. You lean into that opened hip side. And a couple more breaths. On the exhale, you're lifting the ribs, then turning. The left hand could come around and bind onto the foot or even the thigh. One more breath. And exhale, turn and release. Now same leg position, but we're turning now to the right. Left hand comes across to the edge of the right knee. Your right hand on the ground, if that's the best support for you. Or you can see with key, it gets to the shin, or it could get to the edge of the thigh, something like this. And you see the squeezing across the kidney area with the arm. It's good for the low back. You see key is holding the foot. It could be on the shin. One more breath. Note the length of the spine in the turn, the elegance of the twist. And then let's come out of that side. Ease that left leg out, the left ankle out. And the second side. So we have the choice between the easier position here, and then the twists, or the half lotus. And we're going to twist right first, left hand onto the right knee, the right hand onto the ground, or as you see with key, onto the right foot. Left hand could go to the foot, or you could keep it on the left knee. And one more breath. Exhale and turn. And then release that direction of twist. Take it to the other direction. Right hand comes across to the edge of the left shin. Left hand swings around behind, and it might just push off the ground. It's the easier position. If you're flexible enough, you might come around and hold the right inner thigh or the shin. Certainly if you don't have lotus, you wouldn't hold the shin. And then lifting and turning. Couple more breaths. And one more breath. Turn and release it. And then come out and straighten your legs. Ease out any tension in that right leg.
In doing so with our right leg forward, left foot comes to the inner right thigh, and then we open the left knee to the left. Before we were practicing with the side stretch as we were opening up and over. And now instead we're going to take the rotation, so turning to your right. The left hand crosses that right thigh and lifting through the head and the chest as you turn and look to the right. And breathing as you're reaching through. Over time, that right hand might come to the right foot. Left hand can join to the right foot as you're rotating through the spine and still looking to the right. And one more breath. And when you release from the posture, come back through center, and we'll change it to your second side. Janu Shirshasana with a twist. Right foot to the inner thigh, and then opening right knee back to the right. Turning to your left. Right hand can start to cross to the left foot or beyond. And breathing as you're reaching through. And the gradual development as you're turning and looking to the left can include the left arm reaching overhead to secure onto the foot. Still lifting through the head and the chest as you turn and look to the left. And one more breath. Now as you release from the position, Bob's going to take us into the wide angle with the rotation, Upavista Konasana.
We did this on the previous routine. We went to the inside. This time we're going to go across. So I'm heading over my right leg, he's heading over her left leg. Opposite hand to the foot, or possibly the elbow comes around to the outer shin and we get something like this. More likely you're up in here. In either case, you're turning across as you stretch the hamstring, the lower ribs are turning across. Possibly that other arm could come up and across as you see with Ki. And one more breath. Exhale, the sitting bones shift back, lower ribs out, turn, squeeze it across, and release. And then the second side. So we're coming up and across. I'm coming to the left, Ki's going to the right. And as you come across, the hand could come onto the foot, or the elbow could come across. In either case, the low ribs are pulling out, and so we're lengthening through the low ribs, the neck fits in, the head's not leading the twist, it's the low ribs that are leading the twist. On the inhale, we're steady. On the exhale, pulling out and around, both legs are reaching out. And one more breath. Exhale and reach around and complete this position.
And as you do so, allow yourself to draw the legs back together and shake them out. Many of the twist positions are named for sages, and clearly that's the case with the next position. This is Bharadvajasana from a seated pose. As you come into it, you can cross your left ankle over that right thigh. And as we've clearly indicated again and again, if that doesn't work for your knee, just take the foot onto the ground. From here, pick up your right foot and take your right heel back by the right buttock. That might mean that the right sit bone comes up just a little bit higher than before. And as such, make sure that you feel comfortable with that. Now, as you do so, lift up through the trunk and turn and look to the left. Take your right hand underneath that left knee and press the palm down to the ground. With it, if you're comfortable, you could pick up your left hand and reach it all the way back to your right foot. And then turn, look back to the right as you lean into that right palm that's firmly planted. Eye gaze over your right shoulder and breathing as you're reaching through. And one more breath here. Now when you release from the posture and you come on back out, you might feel the effect through your right forearm, also through your left shin, and through your neck as well. With legs forward, just stretch them out a bit, make sure that all is well, and we'll start to construct Bharadvajasana on your second side. Right foot to the right angle for you, either up over your left thigh or all the way down to the ground. And with it shifting over to your right sit bone, free up the left foot, Draw left foot back by the left hip. Now lift up through the head and the chest as you start to turn and look to the right. Take your left hand underneath your right knee and commit it down to the ground, securing into that left palm. Once you're able, you can reach that right hand farther back behind you to the extent it might come all the way, finding its way onto that right foot. Then leaning into that left palm, lift the head and the chest, and turn and look to the left. Breathing as you're reaching through. And one more breath here. Now when you release from the posture, come on back out through center. And in doing so, you're likely to experience the effects of the work and those unusual aspects of the limbs that otherwise perhaps get neglected. Next we'll be shifting into Vamadevasana, which is a twist that's named again for one of the many sages who's quoted in the Upanishads. As Bob's beginning to construct it, he's taking his left leg under and his right foot over. Now the right foot could come into a comfortable tailor seat, as Bob's indicating, or what we think of it in the West as a comfortable cross-legged posture. And if you wanted to challenge your way with a half lotus, you're welcome to that as well. Whatever's the case for your leg position, see to it that the spinal length is maintained, and with it, we'll take that long neutral spine and rotate it to the right. Right hand's back behind you, left hand can land on that right knee, and as ever, with your flexibility, the right hand might come around behind to hold the foot or the hip. And breathing as you're reaching through, as if you're turning and looking over your right shoulder to see, where is Vamadevasana? Where is Vamadeva? Right here. One more breath. As you release from the position, come back through center, and let's change up the leg position as we take the rotation to the other side. Right foot under, left foot over, whether it's all the way up and over the hip or still somewhere closer on the shin. Then lengthening through the spine, lift as you begin to turn and look to your left. Right hand can cross to the left knee, and left hand will be back behind you to the sacrum or buttock, or maybe all the way to that left foot. Lengthening through the spine as you turn and look all the way to the left. And one more breath here. Now as you release from the posture, come back through center. And as you do, you might take those legs forward and stretch them out just a little bit. In just a moment, we'll be back into one of the more classic twists as Bob leads us into it, but just make sure that all is well on the way.
Consider, as a right-hander, you're twisting slightly left throughout the day, just by nature of being right-handed. So in twisting, we'd like to emphasize twisting back to the right if you're a right-hander. If you're a left-hander, twisting back to the left. So to counter the daily activities that we do, we want to twist back right and do back bends. We're going to twist right first. The classic twist is with the left leg under, twisting left leg under to the outside of the right buttock, right foot over to the outside of that left knee.
Now if you're tight in your outer buttock and you can't come into this base position, simply take your left leg still straight forward and continuing with Bob's instruction.
The left hand comes across. Don't go too far too fast. We tend to dip the shoulder and then we lose the length of the spine. So come across easily, lift the low ribs, and then as you turn, you're lifting upwards. It's a spiral upwards rather than a spiral down, and that becomes the key to the twist, that we don't turn down, we lift up as we turn. Inhale. Now that left arm could come across a little bit more and the elbow could come across, but you don't want to lose the left shoulder blade as you do that. One more breath. Inhale and exhale and turn, and finally you look over the right shoulder, spiraling it up and around, and release the first side. Second side. Come out. Change the leg, right leg to the outside of the left buttock.
And again, if you know you're tight in this position, just keep your right leg straight forward and lengthening through the spine, continuing with Bob's instruction of Ardha Matsyendrasana.
Settle the two sitting bones. So as you turn left, you want that left sitting bone to settle, and then the ribs lift. The right arm, you come across in a way that you're not dipping the right shoulder forward. So you keep track of the right side as you're turning left. Keep showing the awkwardness of doing it poorly. Inhale. Exhale, left sitting one down, the ribs lift, and she's showing another arm position that may be easier to keep the back long. Of course, whatever works for you. Inhale as a spiral up. The left sitting bone settles, the lower ribs lift. Turn the chest, you look up and around to the left. And one more breath, inhale. And exhale, and turn up and around. And release. Well, let's do the right side one more time just for a couple breaths. So flip-flop the legs. Just by nature of being right-handed, we need to change the habitual patterning. So just a couple breaths here, going back to the right. You've already worked out the way into it. And so we'll work through, inhale. And then one more. Exhale and turn up and around. And release and come out.
Now taking these rotations onto our back next.
Come on your back, and of course that's always a relief to come on our back. And we'll start by taking the two legs down, and then you're going to bend the right knee. Take the right foot on the left thigh or the left knee. You turn across, so the right knee comes across to the left. Your left hand comes onto the edge of the outer right knee. And so there's a stretch through the right outer hip and the right low back. The action is to roll that right hip away from the head. And then the left arm is probably out to the right. You're turning back to the right with your torso. The stretch mainly is in the low back. As you exhale, you're rolling that right hip away and turning back right some. It should feel good. One more breath. Now come out, and we're going to do same side, but straighten that right leg. And you could have a strap, and then you're going across. So that right leg comes across, with or without the strap. You're on the outer left hip. The right hip is rolling down, away from the shoulders. You'll turn back right with your gaze. And one more breath. Right hip rolling down, creating length in the right low back. Turning back right. And then come out. And of course we'll do the second side. And we'll just keep it same to the second side. Left foot, left knee bends, left foot onto the right quadricep or the knee. You come across with that left knee. As you come across with the left knee, you end up on the outer right hip. The left shoulder might be slightly off. You work it back, but the main action is in that left low back and the left outer hip. And so get the good feeling down there. Let it stretch out. Roll the hip down as you exhale. Turn back left. The right hand is working that stretch across. And one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. Roll the left hip down. Reach through this twist. And then come out. And take that left leg vertical. Strap or hand to the foot or hand to the outer shin. You come across. As you come across, you're rolling that left hip down away. And a couple breaths. It's a stretch through the left hamstring, your left hip rolling down, creating low back length. And one more breath. Inhale. And exhale. And stretch through the hamstring, stretch through the outer left hip, stretch through the left low back. And release. Come on to our back, and we'll finish the routine.
As we prepare to finish the routine, I'm going to go through that seated, the reclined twist once again with one more variation so we can take a quad stretch. And this is one that you might like, or you can again return to what we just did a moment ago with Bob. In this way, on your back, with the right knee into the chest, you can cross right knee over to the left and turning and looking to the right. And that's where we started with Bob. From here, if you're able, you could bend your left knee and reach your right hand back to your left foot. In doing so, drawing that heel into the buttock develops a deeper quadricep stretch in your underneath leg that's in your left leg. And if your flexibility allows, you could bring it back through yet again with a hamstring stretch, as I'm demonstrating with the right knee straightening out. And one more breath here. Now when you release from the posture, come on back through center. And of course, we'll take it to your second side. In doing so, bend your left knee and cross left knee over to the right. Head and eyes can turn and look back to the left, and that's already plenty. But if you want to develop with me into the quad stretch variation, bend your right knee, and your left hand is nice and close to that foot, so you can just hold on to it. In doing so, you could work the heel in closer to the buttock, ever more developing through that quadricep stretch. Now on your underneath right leg. You can stay just with that or consider adding to it the challenging hamstring stretch as well. Doing so, we simply straighten out through the left leg, and with the hand or the strap on that left foot, enjoy the stretch. And one more breath here. And when you release from the posture, untwist and bring your way back through center. In the centered position, we will begin to shift into our next variation of pranayama. And as such, you might give yourself just a couple of moments to make that change.
Come to seated position. Certainly the seated position could be sitting onto the heels of the feet.
This hero posture that Bob was just demonstrating is a natural position for us to pray in as well as to meditate, especially for beginners. So feel free to come into the variation that's just right for you. And if it's not full lotus, you can feel how it's the case that there are many options for you.
We will return to Anuloma Viloma Pranayama, adding a bit of the Mula Bandha at the end of the inhale, the pelvic floor muscle squeeze, and then at the end of the exhale, bit of a diaphragm lift. So we'll go 3 times to each side. Take the hand up you're going to use. Cover, exhale both. Cover right, inhale left. Hold, Mula Bandha, gentle action in the pelvic floor. Draw, bring the energy up. Release the Mula Bandha, cover left, exhale right. No diaphragm lift here, exhale more. Inhale right. Hold, gentle Mula Bandha. It's to direct the energy up through the chakras, upwards. Release the bandha, cover right, exhale left. Exhale more, and then a bit of a diaphragm lift. Hold the air out, lift diaphragm just for a second. Inhale left in. Hold, Mula Bandha. The hand comes away. The energy goes up through the chakras, through the throat chakra, into the brain. Open the brain like a flower. Release the Mula Bandha. Cover left. Exhale right. Hold the air out a moment. Diaphragm lifts. Inhale right. Hold. Center the energy, Mula Bandha, to direct the energy up through the throat, into the brain, into the third eye. Open the third eye. Cover right, one more to each side. Exhale left. Diaphragm lifts. Inhale up. Hold, very gentle Mula Bandha, energy up, open to the crown of the head this time, through the heart, through the throat, through the brain, into the crown of the head, open. Cover left, exhale right, releasing the bandha. Diaphragm lifts for a moment, and then last of these, inhale right. Hold, center, take the hand down, keep it down. Energy up to the crown of the head. Now exhale, feel like a showering of energy down along the sides of the body. A dropping of the energy. Now 3 times, inhale up the Sushumna channel. Energy up through the spine, through the Sushumna channel. Ujjayi inhale. Pause a moment at the crown of the head. Now as you exhale, visualize the energy going out and around. Exhale like a waterfall dropping down from the crown of the head, a showering of the light. And inhale up through Sushumna. Energy up, up, up. It's like a fountain. It goes up, and then on the exhale it showers down around you, and just feel this good feeling that you're strengthening your aura field and you're contained within your aura field safe. One more time, inhale up through Sushumna to the crown of the head, and exhale and feel that showering around you. And now open your eyes and feel just around you your aura field. And so when we're wide open from the asana practice, our aura field is quite expansive. As you go out into the world, you want to bring it in just a little bit. It's your protection. It's also permeable, so you can open up to the good forces, and yet you have this semi-permeable membrane here of your aura field that protects you. So you could thicken it in, draw it in, or you could spread it out when you're in a safe environment. But start to play with your energy body. It certainly comes right out of the Hatha Yoga and the Pranayama breathing. Bring this good asana energy and the pranayama with you as you come out into your next part of your day. Thank you. Namaste.